Hey everyone, looks like we're here at about 2 o'clock. Um, Alden, you want to go ahead
Eastern.
and kick things off?
Okay.
9 a.m. Hawaiian, correct.
Um, Good morning and thank you for joining us today. I'm Alden Takaki. I've been involved with schools and technology for many years. Many of you may know me from my involvement with Harris and nutrition in Hawaii for the past several years. But I've been working with identometrics in Hawaii for about 3 years now. Identometrics provides an easy-to-use biometric solution that works with nutrition and other school applications, as you will see in the following presentation. First, some quick housekeeping things. We will email you a recording link for the webinar. The email will also include your special 5% discount coupon, good for any of the identometrics products through June 30, 2023. If you have any questions during the webinar, please feel free to submit them through the Zoom chat window. Also, Brian Adams is here with us directing the webinar, and we'll be managing the Q&A at the end. Before we begin, I would like us to take a minute or two to answer 2 poll questions. Brian, would you open the poll, please? First question asks, what interests you about fingerprint scanning, finger scan ID? Multiple choices: speed meal service, eliminate ID cards, or accurate records. Second question, what barriers do you see purchasing the finger scan system? Again, multiple choices: price, parent or community concerns, privacy. Okay, Brian, can you close the poll window? We all know that food service directors in Hawaii face overwhelming challenges, especially since COVID. Now more than ever, 100% accuracy and a laser focus on efficient operations are extremely important. My guest today is Dr. Jay Fry, President and CEO of Identometrics. As you may already know, Identometrics is the #1 provider of biometrics in K12 education. What you may not know is that Dr. Fry was also a former principal and school administrator, so he comes to us with a wealth of hands-on practical experience. Also joining us is Eden Fulton, Executive Vice President of Identometrics. Yeah, that's nice, Wade. An expert on the implementation of identometrics, especially in Hawaii. Jay?
Thank you, Alden, and thank you to everyone joining us today. As Alden said, I'm a former principal of a middle school of over 1,000 students. Every day, we were putting out fires related to student and staff identification, lost and forgotten ID cards, shared ID numbers, miskeyed ID numbers, and the resulting inaccurate records, all resulted in a tremendous waste of time and frustration for my teachers and staff. What we needed was an ID solution so we could feel less stress in managing all we had to get done in a day. That's why we created Identometrics almost 20 years ago. What used to take an office staff hundreds of hours a year to manage now takes hardly any time at all. And those inaccurate records and time-consuming audits are a thing of the past. Identometrics was designed to eliminate ID cards and numbers and use something the students could not lose: their fingers. It had to work with the software the schools already had in place and needed to be simple and easy to use for the staff as well as young students. And of course, just like in my principal days, I would only accept exceptional customer service and technical support from my staff. Many of the leading K12 companies like Harris School Solutions have chosen to partner with us because of the value that we bring to their products and their customers. We know that at the end of a chaotic day, you want to feel good about educating kids and running a good program. That's why our number one goal is to simplify your school day. When was the last time you used rabbit ears to adjust your TV or made a long-distance call on a payphone? Nationwide, more than 1 million students are using biometrics every day in the cafeteria, for attendance, and other locations throughout their schools. Like you, their school administrators and technology teams are progressive thinkers who want to take control over their ID management headaches so they can focus on educating their students and running their programs. The old-fashioned methods of identification like ID cards, numbers, and visual identification are draining their time and resources and creating real problems every day. Some of the problems you face each day impact your time, like reconciling inaccurate and compromised records. Some of them impact your budget, like paying for meals that are questioned by parents. Some of them impact your students, like not having enough time to eat because the lunch lines are too slow. Some of them impact your teachers, like not having enough classroom time because of delays in the cafeteria. Some of them impact the administration, like audit and reimbursement problems. And some of them just irritate you and your staff, like parent complaints. This all adds up to a big headache for you. So what's the solution? The solution is identometrics. With identometrics, you can proudly use progressive technology to take control of your ID management. You get accurate and efficient data collection, reporting, and audits by eliminating ID cards and PINs. Your students are able to eat and get to class on time because they are identified quickly and accurately. Your records and accounts are secure because biometrics protects student privacy. Your parents, staff, and administrators are happier because you've eliminated drudgery and stress. The real solution means that you have more time to focus on what's important to you because of increased efficiency and fewer distractions. In other words, peace of mind. So how does the finger scanning process work? The finger is scanned by the finger scanner. The software identifies unique points. Note that no fingerprint images are stored or can be recreated. The points are transferred to a binary number. The number is encrypted, linked to the user's ID number, and stored in the database. When the user returns, the same process happens, and the new template is compared to the database until a match is found. The matching ID number is sent to the host application, and the user's account is found. All of this happens in about a second within a false acceptance rate of 1 in 200 million. It's impossible to recreate the fingerprint from this data, and privacy is ensured. Now, I'm going to turn it over to Eden.
Thanks, Jay. Getting the students enrolled is simple and easy. Students enroll in identometrics only once, and it takes less than 30 seconds. The students can enroll from any scan station. Once they're enrolled, there's no need to re-enroll them again, ever. Their biometric info can be transferred from one school to another. We even provide sample parent letters for you to use. Now we're going to show you how fast it is to enroll 3 different students. The first student is in kindergarten.
Your name?
Alita Flowers.
Okay, let's put your right finger up there. Okay, go ahead. 1, lift up your finger. 2, and one more time. 3, and then left hand. 1, 2, 3. Great. All right, thank you.
Carly Thompson.
Carly Thompson. Okay. And let's do your right finger. 1, 2, 3, and your left finger. 1, 2, 3. Great.
I am Girl Scout.
Okay. And let's do your right finger. 1, 2, 3, and your left finger. 1, 2, 3. Great.
Because identometrics works as a platform, once the students are enrolled, they can be identified to any software you already have that uses barcodes, ID cards, or pins that identify the students. For example, it will work with the software you have in the cafeteria and the library. Schools find lots of other ways to use it too. For example, for student identification at athletic events and school dances to be sure the students coming in are supposed to be there. Identometrics can be used to take attendance for large classes such as band, orchestra, chorus, and PE, thus creating more instructional time. Schools are very creative in finding ways to use it to manage identification in a variety of different ways. In fact, we have a customer in West Virginia that used our ID system to be sure that the students voted only once during the student government elections. I'm sure there are other ways of your school that would have use and benefit from this system. Jay?
Identometrics is flexible. It's designed to work in a single school or across an entire district. Our tech staff will collaborate with you to design a deployment plan that works for your unique needs. All biometric devices are not created equal. You need robust hardware that will withstand considerable use, little fingers, wet fingers, and the occasional clunk of a ketchup can. We've tested a multitude of finger scanners on all kinds of fingers for almost 2 decades. The typical finger scanners that work just fine with normal adults fail with young children and difficult to read fingers. We test and test and test again. That's why we know the best finger scanners in the market today, and that's only what we recommend and support. USB biometric scanners are the most popular for POS applications because they are cost-effective, robust, and fast. They attach to any Windows-based PC, laptop, or tablet via USB port. Eden?
Identometrics is solid, time-tested, and just works. But when life happens, we're always just a phone call away. Our team of biometric experts will escort you through any issue, or they'll log in and take over as needed. We're set up to ensure a prompt response that's on target, detailed, and meaningful. Your time is valuable to us. We have a special customer resource website where you can schedule an appointment, open a support ticket, access our knowledge base, video library, cheat sheets, and more. Your success is our critical path, and we make it easy for you. We take you through 5 thoughtful steps that make implementing identometrics a cinch. The first step is orientation. After you place your order, you'll receive a welcome email from us and an orientation video that gives you an outline of what we need to do together. Step 2 is deployment planning. This is the technical design phase where we customize identometrics just for you. All the questions your techs have will be answered. And at the end of the meeting, we will deliver your deployment plan. Step 3 is installation. Since we've already established our deployment plan in step 2, step 3 is simple, installation, and we do all the heavy lifting. Step 4 is enrollment training. Not only will you be comfortable with how easy it is to enroll your students, we'll share all of the tips and tricks so that you're confident using the software and enrolling your students. Step 5 is your final system check. We can meet or we can provide a checklist if you'd like to do it yourself. Basically, we just want to make sure that your first day is flawless. So, how much does it cost? The most popular package starts at $2,900 per school. That includes all the things you need to get started: biometric software for your first scan station, an enrollment station, finger scanning hardware, installation, training, and support. Additional scan stations are $800 each. Annual subscription is only 20% of the purchase price and starts in year 2. Tossing it back to you, Jay.
Thanks, Eden. Identometrics biometric ID management simplifies your school day and helps you and your staff perform at your best. You have efficient, accurate, hassle-free accounting and data with happier administrators, staff, parents, and students. From your seasoned staff down to the kindergartners, Identometrics is 100% accurate, safe, and secure. Identometrics works with eTrition software. Our software is ever evolving. As a result, you have always got the latest and greatest version. With Identometrics, students enroll only once and scan anywhere that requires accurate ID. As for our customers' support and services, we offer only one option, and that is excellence.
Mhm.
The frustration and inefficiencies of cards and pins are a thing of the past. Take control over your ID management worries and focus more on what you do best, providing an awesome environment for educating your students and operating a superb program. So what are the next steps? First, schedule a demo. You can either give us a call or schedule online at our website. Second, we create a customized plan based on your unique needs. Third, let's execute it together. Alden?
Thank you, Jay. Before we open up this for questions, let me give you a few reminders. We will be emailing you each a link to a recording of the webinar. The email will also include your special 5% discount coupon for any of the Identometrics products through June 30, 2023. Now it's time for questions. Please feel free to add your questions into the chat window. Ryan?
It looks like we got some questions coming in already here. First one is, I'm ready to move forward. What do I do next?
Oh, that's easy. Just go to our website and schedule a demo or give us a call to do that, and we will begin to move forward. So you'll find that information on our website, and there are some links that are shown right on the front page, actually.
Or we can
I
give,
also want
or
to
you can,
point out Alden's contact
I was just
information.
going to say,
is here on the
we can
page.
also have,
Yeah, call Alden.
Number's on the screen right now.
where's the number, Alden? I can't see it. I'm kidding.
Another question here is where is biometric data stored?
Eden?
The biometric data is stored on your network, and that's a great question. It's kind of like one of those myths out there. The biometric data will be stored on your network. It is not on the internet anywhere on the web. It's protected by your firewall and all the security that you guys have in place.
All right, we got another question here. Has there been an issue with scanners not being able to read fingerprints due to a dirty scanner?
Eden?
Eden?
Not that I'm aware of. I actually was on site. This is many, many years ago. I was on site at a school in Philadelphia, and the kids, they were kindergartners. They were scanning in for their lunch, and I went over. I was going to do something with their software, and lo and behold, I went over to the scanner, and it was, I don't know what was on it. Could have been peanut butter. I don't know, but it was scanning beautifully. It was beautiful. However, even though it does work with a dirtier scanner, we do recommend that you can clean it, anytime you want, whatever works for you guys. We do recommend cleaning it with something simple as rubbing alcohol. Dries quickly and keeps that scanner working for years.
Mhm.
All right. Another question here is, what schools in the Honolulu District use Identometrics? I have to get back to you on that one. I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Eden or Alden, you may know.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up my list here. You can go on to the next question.
Well, yeah, well, I was gonna say
Yeah, I
while
was
you're
gonna
looking at
say,
that,
we could definitely put a list together and get it out to that person.
I want to say one thing about that, Brian. In the early days of the company, I could tell you everybody who was a customer. And now, because there are so many, we have to look up the list just because there are too many to remember.
that is a good problem to have, I believe.
Yeah, we can definitely circle back to that one.
We'll go to the next question here. A handful of students that can't scan, what do you recommend?
Well, if you do, you should be able to enroll most of the students in the identometrics software. If you have a situation where you cannot enroll a student, you certainly could do identification like you're currently doing. You could type in the ID number, and then I would also recommend if you can't enroll them, let's say today, to, try them again later. And you might, it's surprising how many students we get in later.
Mhm.
I do have my list. There's 22 schools in Hawaii. Was there a particular district they wanted to know about?
Honolulu.
Honolulu.
Whole district. Okay, I don't have it sorted by district, but Kalakaua Middle, Kalani High School, Kawananakoa Middle, New Valley Middle, Stevenson Middle, Roosevelt High, Dole Middle, Barrington High, Jarrett Middle, Kaluela Elementary, and Kahala Elementary are the ones in the Honolulu District.
Okay, wonderful. Another question here is asking about pricing. The package is $2,900 per school with a 20% annual fee, and that annual starts in year 2. I believe that was correct for that.
Yes.
Most popular package.
Correct. And Alden and I can happily put a formal quote together for anybody who's interested.
And don't forget, there's a 5% discount until June.
Oh, that's right. Of course. Yes.
Correct. So this question here is a little bit outside of the food service side, I believe. Can we use it for time in and out for staff?
Yes, you can use it for time in and out for staff. We actually have a time clock that schools will use for that purpose. So if you'd like to take a look at our website or call us, we'll be glad to show it to you or talk to you about how it works.
There on our website, there is a button that says schedule a demo. And when you click on that button, one of the options is this employee time clock. So you could see it being demonstrated to see if it's a good fit for you.
A question here around cleanliness. Is it okay we sanitize scanners after every 2 or 3 kids, just wipe it with sanitizer?
I think you just summed it up. Yes.
Yeah, sure. You absolutely could do that, but we recommend rubbing alcohol as the best way to clean it.
And I recommend as a former principal that you clean it like that. But following the scans, you probably have some kind of hand sanitizer for the students before they go to sit down for lunch. We all know we encourage them to wash their hands before going to lunch or breakfast in the morning, and we all know they don't. So having something there as a hand sanitizer would be an easy way to implement that.
This next question goes very much along the same lines here. Is there a concern about spreading germs due to students touching the same device?
No, well, I can't say that people don't have a concern, but Purdue University did a study in which they asked this question: are finger scanners dirtier than doorknobs? And what they found in the study is that the finger scanners are actually cleaner. And they explained why that is, but they also recommended that you should clean your push bars on doors, your stair railings, your lockers, Anything that the students are touching on a regular basis, which we know all of them do every day, multiple times, you should clean those as often as you clean your finger scanners. However, that's not really practical. So with cleaning the finger scanners, you can do that either after each scan or after several scans or between lunch or breakfast periods. So we find that the finger scanners are actually much cleaner.
And we have more information about cleanliness on our website, correct, Brian?
That is correct.
Were you going to say that? Did I steal your thunder?
That's okay.
Okay.
Our next question here is, how easy is it to transition from ID cards to biometric?
Oh, I'll answer that question. In my school, we made 1,000 ID cards at the beginning of the school year, and probably at your school you do the same. And we also made 1,000 ID cards during the course of the year because the students lost them. They also misused them by taking another student's card and scanning things in. So it became a huge problem. The transition is easy. You don't make any cards anymore. That's it. You just don't make any cards. And the kids just scan their finger as they go through that line.
Along the same lines, how do schools handle kids with no money in their account?
Oh, that's something we can't answer. That's a policy of each school. In my school, we never let a kid go hungry because there wasn't money in their account. Each school has to deal with that answer on their own and really has nothing to do with the biometrics itself. Sorry.
So really, we're just a substitution for a barcode, pin pad, or swipe card. So whatever you're using now, everything's going to be the same, right? Except you won't be using cards. The students will be putting their finger on the scanner. Everything else is the same. Your reporting will be the same. If you have the money issue, it will be the same. It's just using a different form of identification.
All right. What options do they have if the parents do not want the child to participate?
So the software does have the ability to flag records as unenrollable. So if you do have an issue that where a parent does not want a student to participate in the program, it's really, really easy through the software to just flag that record. And then that student becomes unenrollable. And also it's just as easy to unflag the record too, because we have found that oftentimes maybe the parent's not interested in their student being part of the program, but those kids, they love this. They love it. So they somehow convince mom and dad that to be in the program, and we can just as easily get them back in.
Brian, there's another part to that question, and that is, what happens to the students who don't participate in the finger scanning? How do you identify them in the cafeteria line? And the systems, your current system, which is either a card, visual identification, or a personal identification number, can run right alongside of the biometrics itself. So for those students who are using the biometrics, they simply scan in on the scanner, and the other students continue to use the same process you have in place today.
All right. Next question here is, do we have to tell our principal to order this system? That seems political. I'm going to stay out of that one.
I think I'll answer it as a principal. I would be surprised that you would not involve your principal on this. We actually recommend that you involve your principal and administration in the school, anybody in the district that's important, so that they understand how the biometric finger scanning works. And in the event that you have students or parents that want to opt out of the system, you let them opt out of the system. And just as Eden described, many of them will come to the system when they're ready, but you can still identify them to the POS application with cards, pin pads, or visual identification. The last thing you want to do is get into a situation in which people don't understand what you're doing and think they are required to participate, and that will create a huge problem. So it's just a matter of informing people and giving them opportunity.
Right, good information. Another question here is, can the biometric ID scanning system be used for other programs other than eTrition?
Sure. We have schools that use it to identify students who are going to after-school events, to be sure the students who are going to those events are students in the school. It eliminates anybody who's not enrolled in the system, and you can identify them that way. As Eden said earlier, there's a time clock that you can also use the system with. And Eden, other things that you can think of?
You know what? Email us, email Alden. We'll be happy. If there's specific things that you have in mind, we'd be happy to answer them.
What are some of the challenges schools encountered in their first year of implementation? It goes a little bit to that roundtable we
I
had.
was just going to say that, like, whoever is asking that question, we just did a roundtable just a couple weeks ago with 6 of our 6 customers who described in detail how they rolled it out in their school, and we'll be happy to send that out to this person, and so they can take a look at it. It was really, really excellent information. It's better to hear it from them, right?
It is, but I would say that in all honesty, the most difficult thing about the system is enrolling people in your school in the first year. But you saw from the video that it takes roughly 30 seconds to enroll each student. And that's a one-time enrollment, unlike making cards, where you make the cards. If you do like I did, you make them at the beginning of the year, you pass them out, then you continue remaking them during the course of the year. And you may do what I did at one point. You collect them all, you sort them, you pass them out to the teachers who pass them out to the students just before they go to lunch. And if your students are like mine, they will do what mine did, and that is lose them on the way to the cafeteria. So you don't have to mess with that problem of cards that you do continually now, because the biometrics eliminates the need for cards or replacing them.
And I also point out again that we do have parent letters to use as a starting point to communicate. We do absolutely recommend communicating to your parents and your faculty about the program. So we do give you some nice tools to use to do that communication.
All right, let's move on to our next question. Is it easier to switch over at the beginning of the school year?
I think
Switch over to biometrics.
I think you could do it any time of year. We are bringing up schools and districts at all times of year. So I think you could probably find strong points to do it at any point in the year.
And a little bit to add on that, switching over at the beginning of the year means that you will have already had to enroll all of your students.
That's true.
Before they leave over the break. So they will
the summer break.
At the summer break. So at that point, once everyone's already enrolled, rolling out the system is fairly easy. It can be done at any point in time.
Any time of the year.
A couple of questions about scanners here. Instead of a touch scanner, is it possible to have a touchless scanner?
Yeah, I do have a follow-up with that, Brian.
Go ahead with that one.
Okay, so the idea of touchless scanners is a misnomer. There's a company that does provide what they call our touchless scanners. They're actually palm scanners. The problem is the palm scanners require you to touch a guide so that your palm is at the exact height above the scanner so the scanner will read. So while in the early days and even today, people will say these are touchless scanners, they really aren't, because of the guide that's required for you to put your hand on in order to get it at the exact height above the scanner itself.
The other thing to do with scanners here, the other question is how much would a portable scanner cost for an outdoor or off-campus site?
That's an actual scan station. So you would license a scan station in addition to the one you already have. We have schools in especially very temperate areas where the weather's very good all year round that will use a scanner outside for the snack bar or someplace like that. And you can put the software on a tablet, a Windows tablet. We have an attachment that will hold the finger scanner to that and connect it to your USB port on that tablet, which allows you to be mobile on that. The device itself will also connect by Wi-Fi, so it'll work that way as well. So all of those kinds of things have been in implementation now for years.
All right, next question is what's included in the $2,900 package?
There was a slide on that. There's the first finger scanner, the software, the first year of licensing, installation, training. What else? What else am I missing there, Brian? I don't have my handy dandy cheat sheet right here.
The easy way to answer that question is everything is included for you to get up and running and started
That's true.
for your first year with your first scan station. So
Mhm.
there's no add-ons. There's nothing you have to do, add extra to
Oh.
that price, unless you want to add an additional scan station. So if you had 2 scan stations in your cafeteria, you would need $2,900 for the
Mhm.
initial scan station setup and implementation and all the stuff that goes with it, and another $800 for the second station, which would also include installation setup and all the things you need along that line.
That package also contains an enrollment station as well. I knew I was missing something.
Right. The enrollment station is very helpful in that you can put that on the cafeteria manager's computer or somewhere else in the school, maybe in the main office where the secretary to the principal is, where you enroll new students during the course of the year. So you can monitor the whole system, you can enroll students, you can unenroll students, you can do everything that you need to do in that remote station.
Right. Question about has there been any children having difficulty holding their lunch tray and trying to scan their finger, particularly with elementary kids?
I can see from a principal's point of view, I can see where that could be a challenge if they have to pick up their tray and carry it. But if they can hold the tray with one hand, then they simply reach out and touch with the other hand, and they can use their left index finger or the right index finger, whichever is easiest for them. We have schools that may have a station that's away from the serving line, and they may set a desk at that point that has the finger scanner on it, and the young kids can put their tray on that and then scan at the same time. So it's not really an insurmountable problem for kids. And by the way, as you've seen, kids are really innovative and flexible in dealing with the challenges that they have.
Maybe they could scan their finger, then pick up their tray.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little bit would go back to what are you doing currently?
Right. Like how are they using the card and holding the tray kind of idea,
Right.
Brian? Is that what you're saying?
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Question here about the transition process between school years, students moving to the next grade, especially
Mm-hmm.
When grade 5 students move up to the middle school that
Gotcha.
does not use this system.
Oh, well, first of all, the software does have the capability of transferring biometric records from one school to another. But if they're going to a school that's not using identometrics, one of our recommendations is that we delete biometric data for students that are no longer in the school.
Mm-hmm.
So that also the software is designed to address that as well. So we would say in that case, they're not going to a school that's using identometrics, we'll delete those records.
Although the other part of this is if your fifth graders are going to sixth grade in another building that's not using identometrics, it's a perfect opportunity for them to start.
Start using it.
Because they don't have
Exactly.
to enroll the kids as they
It's
come
true.
in. We have schools that actually will start it in the elementary schools, and they will bring the next school on the next year because
Mhm.
those kids will
Yes.
migrate up to the school, and there's no
Mhm.
need to enroll those kids as
Mhm.
they move from fifth to sixth.
Mhm. We have a bunch of new customers that started during the school year, and that's precisely what they're doing.
All right. Does identometric software require internet access?
Well, it doesn't require internet access, but it does require intranet access, at least within your building. So the software can be within your building itself. And if you have such a poor internet connection to, let's say, the server closet in your own building, we can download the biometric data directly to the terminal where kids are scanning in. And when the system itself reestablish connection in the building, it'll update that data as necessary. So we designed that specifically for schools that had very poor internet connections, especially in previous years.
Is eTrition needs internet though, right, Alden?
They can serve offline.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah, so the system will work offline, and we actually
Yep.
had a situation with a school in Alabama where a school with kindergarten kids, is mainly a K2 school. They were using our software, and their internet went down completely throughout the district. And the school using our software was the only one that had a record of student lunches because our biometrics would work offline. And in their situation at the time, their POS would not. So there's a record in the software itself that will tell you when students scanned in and who scanned in as well, so you can follow that.
I think this is a follow-up question to the students moving grades. When moving from one school to a separate school using identometrics, how does the data for the student get moved over?
I think I said before that the software is designed to do just that. And it's gonna use your network to transfer those files from one school to another.
We designed this so that not to put everybody everywhere, but to put students where they need to be. So it will easily identify that students at an elementary school, some are going to Johnson Junior High School and other ones are going to Lincoln Junior High School. So it will be able to move those students to the right places.
I don't know if you can move files that easily between schools, though, the way it's set up. So you might need to copy it to a old school way. Copy it
Oh,
to
okay. We could,
Yeah.
sure, we could do that too. We could do that too.
Mhm.
There is a question here about how to handle the students without money in their accounts. And I do not have an answer for that. I don't know if that's an eTrition
that's a
side of
question
things.
for Hawaii School Food Service branch, actually. I mean, they have a policy for that. So it wouldn't be anything that I would want to make up. That would come
Yeah.
from the services office.
Right.
So I'd refer them to them.
Okay. And we have a couple questions about where people are using, whether it's on the Big Island or Windward or Leeward. I'm going to go ahead and say we could probably send that information to those individuals directly after the meeting. And that's all the questions that we have for today.
Great questions.
Yeah, very good questions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to sum this up, we hope the webinar has been really very helpful to you. The Identometrics biometric ID system provides safety, efficiency, accuracy, and accountability to your food service operations. Our goal is really to make your life simpler and easier and take care of the accountabilities that you have to in your district. Alden?
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Great questions. I think it's
Yeah.
probably the best set of questions that we've had. We've had a few of these now.
Mhm.
Those are great questions. So thanks for the questions.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You can always call me if you have questions. You can email me or old school fax me if you want to. That's good too. Have a great day and take care.
Thank you.